It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. This is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. And before I start my show, I like to thank everybody that tunes in and send those feedbacks and subscribe and all the good things. So, in the House of the Legends, I have someone that she's very special. She's very talented, and we have a lot to talk about. And so, here we are, Candace Woodson. How you doing, Candace?
Hey, how's it going?
It's okay. So what we're going to do in the beginning of the show is she's based out of Florida, y'all. And so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about how you actually got started in this business of music. So
All right.
was it a childhood thing, or was it you was watching the Three Stooges one day and you decided to sing, or what was it?
Well, it really was a childhood thing. I started singing with my sisters. When we were young, we were called the Park Sisters. And
Okay.
so from there, singing with them, and from there, finding out that I really loved it and that entertainment was me. From there, I just continued it on. And now you see the Candace Woodson experience.
Okay. So when you guys were growing up as kids, what kind of music were you guys listening to?
Well, let me
You
tell
know?
you something. We mainly listened to gospel, but we had to sneak and listen to the
Oh
R and
wow.
B and the soul.
Okay.
And my sister used to play because they're older than me, but she used to sneak and play some of the R&B latest, and I would be like, oh, I just love that sound, I just love that music.
Right.
And from there is what happened for me to create my sound of emulating so many different artists. And
Right.
from there, now it's just a part of who I am. I do a little bit, of everything.
Okay. So, what is your main genre of music, which actually gives you the most inspiration and energy?
Well, for some reason, I can't be like put into this category
Okay.
because that's what I'm getting all the time of that. They don't know what to do with me.
Right.
And so I just think I like doing whatever is done well. If I can do it well, then I'm gonna do it. Except for country, I'm just not country. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. But I really do love R&B, soul, 70s music. It's just something about it to me. 70s, early 80s. It's just something to me about it that there's no there's no matching it. It's just the ultimate.
Okay. And so, besides just singing, do you have any other crafts that you really enjoy doing that you want
Oh
to share to
yes,
the
I
viewers?
oh man, I love acting. I love doing the modeling. I love being a mom.
Okay.
If you look at all of my posts, it always shows about me and my boys.
Right.
So I love that part about being a mom, and just I don't know, I love a little bit of everything about life. I love hanging out with people. I love watching documentaries. Now that's big for me. I love
Okay.
watching documentaries and things like that.
So, tell the viewers your first professional recording that you ever did. What was the name of it, and how did that come about?
Um, my very first recording is "This Must Be How Heaven Feels," and it
Okay.
was with Sound Knowledge Records. And that story that you hear about, you have number one and number two and number three. So you have the number one artist, like for an example, Whitney Houston. You got
Okay.
number two artists, you would say like Mariah Carey. So
Hmm.
then you would say, okay, number three, who's number three? Exactly. You don't know because they put her on the shelf. And I was
Okay.
like the number three that nobody ever heard about, but at least I was out of the way to not prevent other things from happening for other artists.
Right.
So I feel like I've had another chance in reference to actually pursuing this this music mecca of madness,
Right.
And so, but that was the first that it was called "This Must Be How Heaven Feels." I'm going to re-release that one day. It was a great song.
Okay. And so, what was your second recording and how did you come about that? Now,
Okay.
before you answer that question, do you write?
I write everything.
Okay.
Anything that's out there right now, I've written it. I've had a
And
part of writing it.
And who was your first producer that actually put all the instrumentals together for you?
My first producer they were out of Minnesota, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I worked with them, but their name slips me for now because after them, I kind of took a break. And then I started working with Kendall Duffy out of their group Cloud 9 out of Nashville, Tennessee. And as a matter of fact, my current single that's out right now is a tune that he and I did a while back, but we revived it. And now it's out and it's got a great remix with it with Rob Hart. He is the one that's actually done the remix on it. So working with Kendall and then working with Michael Powell. I actually worked with Michael Powell, Anita Baker's producer.
Okay.
And did a song called My Heart. I don't know if you were able to peep that or not, but that has gone so well. So many people love that tune. So I've worked with several producers, but the very next one was Kendall Duffy, and then after that, Michael Powell.
How would you actually transition the music from then to now, to your particular style of actually singing?
See, I hear all the time that, like I said, they don't know what to do with me, that it's dated and it sounds old. And I don't feel that way. I feel that it has a modern twist of an old school sound.
Okay.
That's the way that I look at it.
Okay. And so if you had to bring it up to speed and you had to really step out in faith or step out to the point where, of just stepping out, period, how would you actually pursue that? And what would that be as far as for your own self-satisfaction?
Well, for me, shows like this, people like you that say, hey, wow, she's got something different. Let's bring her on. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Until we get more open-minded producers, open-minded media people, we're going to continue to be in this box because we are allowing the industry to dictate to us what we hear because we're not making a big enough voice to say we don't like what we're hearing, but we need to hear more. So until more come to grips and say, I don't mind being the one that says, I like that and I'm going to play it and I don't need payola to do it.
Right. Success has really come a good way for you. Let's talk about some of your rewards that you have and some of the nominations that's coming for you right now. I think the viewers need to know that because that's very important.
Yes, it is, because you need to vote. You need to go out there and you need to get Soul Tracks. You need to subscribe, because when you subscribe to Soul Tracks, you will be able to vote for me, Candace Woodson, Best Female Artist. And also, you'll be able to see more of my material, more of my work. This is such a prestigious opportunity for me. And if you know anything about Soul Tracks, you really know that it's the ultimate. Every artist, whether mainstream or independent, is always recognized somehow with this organization and with this publication. So I just left Atlanta and I was able to receive the Rising Star Award, Best New Artist, because of my success in the UK with the Midas Touch. And I know that I'm jumping ahead, but we have the Midas Touch tour coming up. And so I'm just so glad that this year has been so successful. Prime example, being on your show.
Okay. It's a good thing to know that, that you're really upscaling yourself and you're really going places, and, tell the viewers, how did you actually feel that things are really starting to open up for you right now? And, there's an inner feeling that everybody has about it. Can you describe yours?
I'm going to tell you something. The description is, it's a long time coming.
Okay. All right.
Let me
And that's
tell
a
you,
good thing.
this is not an overnight success in any way, and I don't take it for granted. What you see about me is that I'm grateful and that I'm thankful that God is allowing my time to actually come so I can show the world that I do this because I love it. I do it to empower and encourage, because I want everybody to believe that they can live out their dreams and be successful at it without selling your soul.
And that's a good thing to know. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a little break and we're going to listen to something by Candace Woodson. So what I want you guys to do is listen to it carefully, because she's awesome. And, you know, support her on everything that she's doing. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
You're my one and only desire. Yes, you are. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, yeah. Daybreak is here, a full day ahead. No time for breakfast, I didn't even make my bed. Once work is over and business is done, I'll be headed home to my number one. You are my desire, all that I'm living for. You are my desire, all that I need and more. How did I get so lucky to share my life with you? For better or worse, to death do us part. That's us right from the start. Plenty good loving is what you give. It's on point, I'm positive. Once it's over and the work is done, I'll be headed home to my number one. You, yes, you are.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Turn around. You ain't really down. Playing the games you do. Someday, everything will be alright. Yeah, that different people make the world go round.
Because of you, my dreams are coming true.
That erases my rainy day.
Right now. I don't care who's watching.
For whatever the reason there might be.
With your love by my side, the world will be mine. You're the one for me.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back. This is Tyrone Lowe. We're back with my show, The Legends. And we're talking to the incredible Candace Woodson. Hey, Candace.
Hey!
So what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about description of the track that we just heard. And we're not going to talk about Midas Touch, but because that has to come last pertaining to the point of the tour that you're getting ready to do. So
Correct.
let's talk about who produced it, who wrote it, and what was actually the description of that track.
Well, I'm very proud of that track. I'm glad you mentioned that because Desire was actually done with me and Lou Lane. I don't know if you're familiar with Lou Lane Jr. He does a lot of jazz. And he works for a jazz label. And he does a lot of stuff with Norman Brown, Paul Brown, Julian Bond, all of those guys. And we got together. And I said, I need a cross between something that's soulful, something that's jazzy. And when I heard it, I said, I need to fool the listener. It needs to have a sneaky, sexy, sultry feel about love. And that's why if you see the video starts making people think it's going in one direction, but it actually goes in another direction because it made me think of my boys because they are my desire. They are what I'm living for. And so when you have a purpose, it just changes everything. And so that's the reason why Desire is, for a day ahead, no time for breakfast. I didn't even make my bed because I got to go hit it for you guys. When work is over and business is done, I'll be headed home to my number one.
I hear that. That's so great. I like the track because it has a little bit of everything in it. The flavor of jazzy, a little bit of old school, that contemporary feeling of back in the day, when you used to put on like a nice contemporary jazz station, R&B station, or something that you would listen to like after midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It really cools you down, and stuff. And I have to award you on that because very nicely put together.
Thank you so much. Like I said, Lou, wow, he's tops. You don't get better than him when it comes to the keys. I mean, as you listen towards the end, dun, 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 him playing on the way out was just masterful. So yes, I'm so proud of that track.
So let's talk about this big tour that you're getting ready to set off, and let the viewers know about that. I mean, you have something that's coming up, the Midas Touch tour.
Yes.
Tell the viewers about that.
Well, you guys, you better get your tickets. You better get your flight because it's going to be on and popping in the UK. November the 9th, I'll be at the Pheasantry. And November the 12th, I'll be at Peace Express in Birmingham. It's the Midas Touch tour. Midas Touch actually stayed on the charts for 17 weeks, record-breaking, on the UK soul charts. It would be 1, it would be 4, it would be 2, it'd be 3. It just stayed on there because there were 3 different remixes with it also. So if you don't like the first one, go to the second one, which was Nigel Lowe's mix. If you don't like that one, we got a Steppers mix that they play in Chicago that everyone is just digging on still. So I'm excited about the Midas Touch tour because it brings me back to the UK, who shows me so much love. But, I'm thankful for this show because I'm building my United States fan base. The Midas Touch actually is number 1 on the Starfleet Pools playlist, that chart, that is actually an American chart. So I actually have charted number 1 as of last week here in the United States. So I know that fan base is coming on board, more learning about me. And I know that that's, just because of you guys. And New York is really a good place for me because I actually did Couture Fashion Week a couple of years in a row. Mm-hmm. And they said you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Well, I didn't get booed.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny that you mentioned Starfleet because Starfleet is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, as a record pool.
Correct.
I used to be in that pool years ago. And so he's still doing his thing, And
I said to be number 1, he said, Candace, you did it. He said, because you had major labels going up against you. You had major artists like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They're big right now with the Mariah Carey tune that came out. The Whispers have something out. Right. All these old school people are coming out with things, but I was able to endure and end up making it to the top.
Well, you know what it is. A lot of these artists right now, due to the pandemic, they really went through a time of redemption to the point where they wanted to actually redirect themselves. And so a lot of these OGs, I call them OGs, you know, are really coming back out to the point where they say, well, listen, we want to start where we left off from. We want that crowd back. We want that vibe, you know, we want that sensational feedback, you know, and I think that's every artist wants that. It becomes an addiction because the more that you do, the more that you want, you know, and you know, for you, you're phenomenal. So for you, let me ask you one question. You know, there's a lot of artists that's coming out right now, and it could be in any type of genre of music. Any suggestions for them?
First of all, stay true to yourself. I really know that that's some valuable advice because nobody, let me tell you in the words of Lee Williams, I don't know if you know anything about quartet music or gospel, but Lee Williams said, nobody could beat him being him. So nobody can beat you being you. So don't ever change who you are and have a belief system that is based off of your faith. Let your faith be your foundation, not the accolades and all of the high praises that man is going to give you because they will change their mind, let me tell you. But have a foundation built off of your faith. And from there, every day, do something towards your goal, whatever it is. I don't care if it's make a phone call, it's send an email, write a lyric. Every day, do something towards your goal until you get there.
Any shout outs to anyone that you really want to recognize right now? You know,
oh yes, you know,
your fan base or your crew.
Yes, people? First of all, you know, I'm so thankful to God because without him, this is not possible. I'm very fortunate and blessed to be here and to do what I love, and I want to give honor to him. And then I also want to talk about my kids. I want to give a shout out to my boys and my family. I'm fortunate enough that I have a mother that's still living and I have sisters. So I'm thankful for them. I also want to give a big shout out to here in the United States, Perry Ellis and the guys who are working real hard to get me on different tours, and the guys in the UK, Gary Vandenbush, and all of that team there, Nigel Lois. I really appreciate you all. And I want to give a shout out to Dwayne Butler, who always keeps my stuff tight with my webpage and all of those things. And I'm so thankful for him also. He lives in that area, as a matter of fact. So when he hears this or sees this, I want him to know how much I truly, truly appreciate him. Okay.
Anybody else?
Let's see. No, if I've forgotten you, charge it to my head and not my heart. I truly didn't mean it. I truly didn't mean it.
I hear you. Okay, well, everybody, this is Candace Woodson, and I'm sure that you've listened to her story and how she actually came about. And you guys look out for her tour, which is coming up, the Midas Touch Tour. Show us some love, and hit her up. You got her social media. You can talk to her. You can, get with her and see what's going on and stuff. So this has been a T-Lo video production, and I thank you for being on my show, Candace. And everyone, just tune in and stay tuned for another T-Lo video production.
Thank you, Tyrone. Take good care. Thank you so much.
Okay.
For the love of house,
the dynamic soul sound of
for the love
DJ
of dance.
Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe.
dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.